Hello, everyone. It's hard to believe, but it's been a whole year since we packed up our lives and sold almost everything.
And started slow traveling the world. Just the two of us, our travel buddy Benny, the Burndoodle.
We didn't know exactly what we were stepping into, just a dream and a one-way ticket.
And in 12 months, we've learned a lot about different cultures, how to live simply, and how to be even better partners on the road.
We also made a budgeting mistake that nearly wrecked our momentum. And trust me, you'll want to hear about this one so you don't repeat it.
But we've also made unforgettable connections with people from around the world. That's been one of the biggest gifts of this lifestyle.
Traveling with a dog full-time, it's not always easy, but it's brought us some of the most heartwarming and hilarious moments we've had.
And yeah, we definitely packed things we never used and forgot the things we really needed.
So today we're sharing our biggest lessons, biggest mistakes, and our most unforgettable moments from 1 year of full-time slow travel.
If you've ever dreamed about breaking free from the routine on your own terms.
This video is for you.
So go ahead, like this video, subscribe, and tell us in the comments, where would you go if you could travel the world full time?
So we're going to start with the biggest lesson we learned after visiting multiple countries and how it changed the way we slow travel. So what are your thoughts on what we've done so far? Biggest lesson we learned about visiting multiple countries. What do you think?
The biggest lesson we learned, I think probably the biggest lesson we learned is to stay in the city center where everything is convenient.
Mm.
You don't have to rely so much on transportation, so you save costs there, and then you always have food and a store available. So sometimes accommodations can be kind of far from, the main city center,
Yep.
and that kind of can leave you in a food desert. And so, yeah, I think that's probably one of the biggest things now is we just don't look, oh, there's accommodations. They look so nice, so great. But then you're like halfway up a mountain and you're all by yourself.
You have no
So,
way to get a snack, a bottle of water.
yeah.
You have to have everything delivered,
Hmm.
or you have to have a car come pick you up, take you
Yeah.
in and out.
And so it's a lot.
Yep.
It adds to your budget, that transportation costs back and forth. So we typically now we've learned to stay, even though the accommodations might be more, we feel like we save time and money just having the convenience of food and stores and shops and things like that within walking distance.
Yeah, so unless you're planning on just hibernating and being a hermit,
Yeah, 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 which is
stay
nice.
in the city center. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be nice.
It can be nice to, yeah, hibernate if you wanna, yes, be away from everything like that, of course, but we're, looking to be out and explore, new
Experience
areas,
culture,
so,
not hide from the world like we're on vacation. We definitely wanted to experience
yeah.
culture. So the next one, what do you think was our top budgeting mistake?
Top budgeting mistake is not having the right numbers on how much it would cost traveling with a pet.
Mm.
Yeah, because I don't think there was really anything to pull from. I don't think there's well, maybe there is data, but we didn't have any data on the cost of traveling with a pet. So,
Yeah, we just had pet travel companies estimates, but
mhm,
to go to Mexico, we did it ourselves.
mhm,
To go to Thailand, we used a pet travel company, and it cost more than it cost us,
yeah,
twice the amount that it cost us to get from the US to Bangkok with our little man. So we learned a lot on that trip. And I would venture to say we learned that we needed to travel slower in the beginning because
okay,
at first we did 10 days, then we did 17
mhm,
days. And that's too quick when you're traveling with a dog. Because, I mean, a dog is like a baby,
right, yes,
literally like a
a
baby.
fur baby.
Yeah, there so much consideration has to go into account when you're traveling with a dog. So we should have started off, in my opinion, maybe we should have started off with the slow traveling, extremely
Mhm,
slow. Canada for a month or so.
mhm,
Mexico, we could have stayed in Mexico for 6 months, 180 days with
yeah,
this passport.
and we didn't do that, and I
No.
don't we were so anxious, I think, to get to Asia.
Yep.
We're excited to get over here, but we should have. Now in hindsight, we should have stayed the whole extent of our visa and moved around Mexico a little bit more, and it's the cost of, traveling that fast too, is the transportation, like, you don't think about,
Oh yeah.
it's a usually a bigger we had 2 suitcases, a dog, and a golf bag, so when we commuted from airport to your accommodations, you can't just get the economy size car, you've gotta get a van, which is costly, and, of course, airports are usually set far far out, and so that cost kinds of adds up the cost adds up when you're moving kind of quickly.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, slow travel is supposed to be slow
Yeah.
travel. I mean, based on the length of your tourist visa, unless you do a different type of visa, we recommend you hang out for a little while and explore different cities and towns in that country.
Yeah.
It'll save you a lot of money.
Mhm.
Yeah. So,
And be somewhere convenient. I
oh
think
yeah,
we found
yeah,
that the convenience of being able to get food will save you money in the long run. Yeah.
most definitely. Okay. So, next point, next question. What's it really like traveling the world with a dog? What's that really like? And I'd say a sub question to that would be a big dog. Let's just say our dog is 20 kilos. The world's different for a 20-kilo dog or a dog that weighs nearly 50 pounds versus a dog that weighs 10 to 15 pounds. We learned that in a lot of places, Mexico City was great. They didn't care. Mexico City was great.
Mhm.
Um, Over in Asia, they love the little dogs, but once you hit that 10 to 15-kilo mark, things get a little different.
Yes. Yeah.
So you can get some really affordable accommodations if you have a smaller dog
Right. It's a
for
little easier.
so like,
Yeah.
and flying, if you have a little 10-pound dog,
Mhm.
little 5-kilo dog, you can just get a crate, slide the dog under your seat,
Yeah.
and you've just saved hundreds of dollars
Yeah.
versus having to use a pet travel company or, make sure they're service dog certified, if your flight's not too long.
Mhm.
But if you're doing a 14-hour flight on one leg to Asia, yeah, the dog needs to be transported separately
Yeah.
from what we're doing. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was a big learning lesson. There he is hanging out back there. And then, you know, just the amount of traveling we could do on the spur of the moment when you have a
Yes.
dog.
Yeah.
We're at the mercy of pet boarding facilities, right?
Mhm. Yep. It's a responsibility. So, it's an if you think about some of the reasons why you choose to sell everything and to, um, travel the world is to get rid of most responsibilities, and a dog is a responsibility kind of like a child, and so it does kind of tie you down. We can't move as quickly or as spur of the moment as we want to because we have to line up pet boarding and it can be expensive. And sometimes on holidays, they're already booked. So we've had run into that where there's just no availability. So,
Yeah, that's a huge issue, depending on how fast how spur of the moment you want to travel. I mean, there's been times we wanted to, fly out to a different country for a 4 or 5 day little trip. And unfortunately, it may have been a local holiday. So the pet boarding places were all booked up, you know. But what goes into our next topic is one of the benefits of slow traveling is the connections we made and the connections you'll make slow traveling instead of, you know, behaving like you're on vacation. So the next topic is the unforgettable connections that we've made that remind us the lifestyle we chose this lifestyle in the first place. It's the reason why we're doing this is making connections,
yeah.
immersing ourselves in the culture of wherever
Mhm.
we are. Um, so what became a problem with pet boarding places eased up the more familiar we got and the more comfortable we got and the better the relationships got where we are. See, like where we are located now here in Bangkok, Thailand, where we're able to find someone to take Benny home with them for 3 weeks while we went back to the US to see family
Mhm.
and friends and do a little bit of work.
Yep.
And so that's a big difference. And and just the amount of advice we've gotten, you know, getting to know local people, even local expats.
Mhm.
The amount of information they've given us that we've been able to give to other people and put in our videos has been tremendous, in my opinion.
Yes, I would agree with that. We've met people from all over the world. I mean, just all over the world, and it's so fascinating to have the opportunity to talk to them and to ask them about, some questions about the country that they're from, and we get a lot of tips too about,
Where to go?
where to
Where
go.
to
Like,
go?
if you go to this country, you definitely have to go here. It's best to stay here. It's steer away from this city. So, yeah, we've made a lot of friends.
Yeah, it's been great, all that information,
Mhm.
and the list is long of places we need to check out. The list is very long,
Yes, yeah.
so slow traveling, meeting locals, local expats, not strictly relying on Google, and the internet has been tremendous, tremendous. And it makes it feel a little more comfortable instead of feeling like we're so far away from everybody.
Yeah.
You get a sense of when we go to the gym, which is another benefit. We have a gym membership.
Mhm.
So we go to the gym and we meet new people all the time that doing the
Yeah.
very same thing. And so you feel a little connection, even though if we're not out every day, mingling or whatever. But just the
Yeah.
gym. Now, when we go to lunch or breakfast, we're seeing the same people. So we're all introducing ourselves and what country we're from.
Mhm.
Like that happens today at lunch. We recognize one of the guys from the gym. We see him and his wife in the restaurant we go to for breakfast and lunch.
Yeah.
And it becomes a nice little community. So that's one big benefit
Mhm.
to doing things the way we are. And it's pretty unforgettable. It's been rewarding. Last point we're going to cover today. What's the one thing we packed that we have never used? I know the
I'll
answer
let
is
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. You should get it out, show it.
yeah. So ever since we left America a year ago, we've been carrying around a PS4.
Not sure why.
I have no idea. We still have it. It's right over there.
I
Oh,
don't know why.
yeah. We haven't. I I think I tried to turn it on once. I think
Yeah, I guess,
I turned
yeah.
it on once and that was about it.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's not our thing. Not my thing.
It's,
I
yeah.
tried to act like it was gonna be my thing. It's not my thing. I might try to pretend like I'm gonna do something with it after we do this just for kicks. But yeah, we have lugged around a PS4,
Yeah, all
which
over
is
the
an awkward thing to pack when you're only carrying two suitcases and a golf case. It's a very awkward thing to pack.
Mhm.
Yeah, we were carrying around a
Yeah.
PS4.
Well, it makes for a good story. Right, maybe there's some sort of attachment to it, that sentimental attachment or something.
Absolutely.
I don't know
I
why.
couldn't even get the new video game that came out. I couldn't even get it because they don't make it for the
Yeah.
PS4.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy.
It's like an antique.
We need to get rid of that. So, but yeah, that's yeah. So I'm sure it's gonna happen with everybody. We purge along the way.
Mhm.
So we have everywhere we've stopped. We've left stuff in that location, whether
Yeah.
we've donated clothes, uh, different type of household
Mhm.
goods, but we've purged after each destination.
Yeah, I
So,
think we brought too many clothes.
oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because what you have in the US, wherever you live in the States doesn't quite, where the country you're going to. You're probably gonna be replacing those things, so I think we brought too many clothes, and we did not one thing that we didn't bring that we should have, or which is crazy, our water bottles.
yeah. That's weird. We thought we
Yeah,
were gonna,
they're very important though.
but we absolutely needed our water bottles.
Yeah.
You know,
And when we didn't have it, it's kind of like when you get, like, a cut on your thumb or something, you don't realize how often you use your thumb, but we just, "Oh, we'll just, we don't need these water bottles. They're too big to lug around. They're kinda clumsy." And we went a month or so without the water bottle, but every single day, multiple times a day, thinking about how we need a water bottle because 'cause we're using, like, plastic bottles and buying yeah, I guess we're trying to
we didn't
be
know.
better
So there's a tip
humans.
for you: water bottles.
Yes, but not the big Yeti because it doesn't fit
No,
in a backpack,
no.
a slender water bottle.
And you can see some of our travel essentials in our link in our comments, and you can go to one of our affiliate links and you can check it out. And this stuff that we have with us today that we use on a regular basis. And you can see there's a dog in the background entertaining himself while we're doing this. So, but yeah, those are five quick things that we want to talk about on this almost 1 year anniversary of us beginning our slow travel journey.
Yes.
So thank you for tuning in. And if you liked it, like this video, please like it, subscribe, and share it with people that may need this information. And visit our website. And we have one that's ktpublishing.com. And we're transferring that one over to a new website, yourtimetotravel.life. So check out those two websites and stay tuned for more adventures. So thank you. And remember, it's your time to travel. That's something